Okay, I know I've owed you an explanation sometime now, and for some reason today, maybe it's because I'm excited to share this news with you, which is why I'm explaining everything to you today. So, firstly, I think you may or may not have noticed that I've been back home in Singapore for quite a while now. And the truth is, I have. Ever since I got back from Bali sometime in January this year, I have been mostly back home in Singapore for the most part and working in my beautiful workplace at home, which has really helped me in finding a sense of home back home here. Ironic, I know. And due to certain circumstances, I call them opportunity, which has allowed me to be based in Singapore more. Mostly the biggest factor was because I've got this work opportunity that really came to me. I hadn't really been seeking them out because I'm not a big fan of working the corporate life and being glued to my chair 5 days a week and going to an office. But this opportunity came, which was pretty much the best of both worlds because I get to sometimes go in a couple of days a week, but then the rest of the days I get to either work from home or work on still my Bel Around The World projects, which is why I say it's the best of both worlds. Also, I have been traveling for the past 7 years full-time since 2018, and so it's been a lot of moving around, which I'm not complaining. I definitely have developed a sense of a preference on the kind of travels that I like. I most certainly like slow traveling these days, so staying in one place a couple months at a time, meeting like-minded people, digital nomads mostly. And I'm not gonna lie, I still miss my digital nomad community wherever they are, and that's something that I miss that I feel is not very easily found in Singapore. Traveling full-time since 2018, I feel like I'm at a space where I am mentally ready to find some sort of more stability and routine. Not to say that I'm going to retire from traveling altogether, but just I have missed that feeling of having a routine and some stability, which allows me to pursue the things that I want deeper, which would require some sort of time commitment. So for instance, now that I'm in Singapore longer, I'm able to take a motorcycle license, which I would have to dedicate at least a year to do because of ongoing practical lessons. And I feel like because of that, I feel like I'm mentally more ready to accept Singapore's lifestyle. Before, you can tell that I was very anti-Singapore. As you can see from my reverse shock culture video on Singapore, I was quite anti-Singapore. But anyway, a recent slew of events has allowed me to develop a closure for living in Bali, including but not limited to falling in a hole. This is the pocket. And having my knee incapable of even walking for a couple of months. The roaches incident in my apartment, which I rented for a year, I had to deal with a very nasty owner. I can show you the screenshot. And also I felt like coming in this year, there was a greater emphasis on family for me. I don't know, maybe you call this maturity. There's just this yearning of wanting to be with family more, and I made a commitment as I take New Year resolutions pretty seriously. So one of my commitments was to spend more time with my parents while they are still fit and healthy, take them on more trips, etc. So these have all contributed to returning home for a bit. So with this mental space freed up, as opposed to having to decide what to do every single day while you are living in a not foreign country because you are unfamiliar to the surroundings. Now I have this mental space freed up, and that has allowed me to focus and learn different things such as finance planning, future planning, and I really take this as an opportunity to learn about myself once again. For instance, I felt like I was going through a lot of resistance being a leader and organizing my own products, services, selling them. I never felt comfortable selling my products and services, trust me. So then I thought, okay, let me use this year as the year to pivot myself to focusing more on the role of a supporter, where I still have all these skills, but instead of pushing hard against resistance, trying to promote my own brands, maybe I can use this skill and help other brands. Maybe I can use this skill to do other meaningful things, and I feel like I'm able to do that now with the clients that I support because they do have bigger budgets, they do have bigger rooms, they are in different industries. So I feel like there's so much more room for me to grow and experiment and play around, which has really filled me, which I really enjoyed. And I think the part about feeling a bit constricted in Singapore, yes, it still exists because I feel like people here are a bit, they are less broad-minded, let's just say. But I feel like it's a mental limitation that I impose on myself as well, and that if I still put the effort to go out there and meet different kinds of people, learn about their stories, I'm still able to get stimulated / inspired by through learning all of these different stories, because I believe stories exist everywhere. And for me, a big part of a reason why I travel is to meet different people and be challenged by their thinking. So, which brings me to this point on what I'm excited about, which is that because I am now, for the most part, just working, I will still feel FOMO. I will still feel like I need to check off new countries and discover new places and not rest on my laurels, because being too comfortable makes me uncomfortable, and I feel like I stop learning when I'm too comfortable. So I've been planning this big trip leading up to my birthday, and here it is. I'm quite excited about it, and I don't know, I'm thinking about having you be a part of it, whether or not it involves helping me plan it or even joining me on this trip. So hear me out. Let me know what you think, okay? So because of my ACL surgery, I haven't done any big, challenging, risky type of adventures, but I feel like I have gained the confidence enough to put myself out there now, and I haven't done a big hike since then, which is 2 years ago in August. So for my birthday trip, I've decided to go to this place which I've never been before, which has always been on my list, and I thought, okay, why not, to celebrate these 2 years of being able to walk normally again, being able to regain my full strength in my legs, just do a hike in Nepal. So right here, right now, I'm doing a lot of planning. I'm talking to different tour operators. I'm even thinking about getting some sponsors. And here comes the great idea, which is to invite you to join me on a hike on this trip together. Wouldn't it be cool? I feel like, because I've been toying with the idea of planning a group trip for the longest time ever, and I'm planning this trip anyway, so why not extend this trip's invitation to you, wherever you are in the world? Again, this is a very preliminary idea. For the longest time, I feel like I haven't been energized by anything except for, I'm just going through the motions working, typical work life. But just entertaining this idea that maybe, what if I can take you on this trip and we get to plan it months in advance? It's going to be in October. One, I am looking for any ideas, trips, planning tips you have in mind on a Nepal hike, considering I've not done it before. But background story, I've done this hike in Bolivia, Huayna Potosi. It reaches up to 5,000 meters, which I've done before back when I was living in Bolivia for 2 months. It was a real challenge. The altitude was a real challenge. Even though I can say that I was considerably fit, but the altitude, it discriminates no one. So that was the main challenge that I felt. So this time for this Nepal challenge, I want to do a hike that's approximately 4,000-ish meters. I don't want it to extend beyond 10 days. So anywhere between 6 to 10 days would be the total hike / acclimatization / trip length. I would say it's like advanced beginner level, because now that I have to train from sea level, aka in Singapore, I have real doubts about whether or not I can make it. But I think it would be such a cool challenge to do it together, don't you think? Oh yes, and there is one more thing I forgot to add, which is that I'm adding a social component into this Nepal trip. I'm gonna make time, probably after the hike, to do some sort of volunteering. I'm still in the works discussing with a trusted local partner about this, but it's most probably going to be in the lines of what I feel most aligned with, which is either in the field of environmental conservation or volunteering at orphanages or helping kids that have suffered from sexual abuse. So if you're interested in also volunteering, please let me know. I am so excited to design this trip together that you can be a part of. So let me know in the comments below or drop me a DM and let me know what you think and if I should plan a trip for not just myself but for you to join as well, because hey, I'm already planning this trip anyway.